Whether it is audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes. Check whether my screen are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Concerning today's class, we request some people to join with us till the end, and probably the third batch from 21 to 30. Please unmute your mic and you please join with us till then. Google Haripriya, Ashwita, Ayyappan. And without any further delay, we will continue where we stopped yesterday. And I request, I think, um, uh, Ankita, I request someone to make a detailed note about DSP, to whom I have requested.
So, which report, sir?
Yesterday at the last moment, I have requested one person to make a detailed note about DSP.
Okay, sir.
Do you know to whom I have assigned the work? Have you know?
I don't know, sir.
Arun Prabhagar.
Yes, sir.
Arun, yesterday I have assigned it to whom, Arun? I think Hari Prasad. Am I right?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Sir,
Hari?
no, sir. Sir, no, sir.
Yes. Nitish, Santosh. Okay, wait. I'll check and I'll tell you. No issues. Santosh, you unmute your mic and tell me what is happening in ESP. Santosh?
Sir, ESP is a device which is used to filter air.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Little more about it. You try to keep your mic very closer to your mouth.
Sir, I didn't go through it. Sir. You asked me to see some current affairs, so I thought of that. ESP, I know it's a electrostatic precipitator, right?
Okay, I'll share my screen. From that you can elaborate. You can make a detailed note. Yes, now go ahead. What is happening? Yes, in the yesterday lecture itself I have detailed about ESP.
Yes.
What we are trying to do, we are trying to segregate the smoke particles and the gases, waste gases without smoke particles left, and it was deposited in the collector. That is what happening. Dirty air enters through in the pre-filter, and the pre-filter happening, and the ionizer try to make these waste gases into ions, and those debris are collected at the collector, and so that we can get the clean air. That is what the principle behind the ESP. And someone, you please unmute your mic and tell me what is happening in, what was the difference between absorption and adsorption? Absorption and adsorption.
Sir, absorption and sir?
Ankit,
Adsorption.
Ankit, we expect the answers from some other fellow, Ankit. Let others can answer.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
the absorption is taken into the bulk material, but absorption is taking place outer the layer of the bulk material.
Anyway, good, but your voice is not audible. Anyway, good attempt. Some others, some others. Anyone, anyone? Anyone? Jai Harishan. Jai Harishan.
Sir,
Yes, Jai Harishan. What was the difference between absorption and adsorption?
absorption is absorbing into the surface, and adsorption is on the surface.
Both seems similar. What was the difference?
In absorption, the particles go into the surface. In
Okay.
adsorption, the particle stays in the surface.
Yes,
Didn't go
that
into.
is what good. That is good. That is that was the fine difference between absorption and adsorption. And see it is a bulk phenomena. Absorption is the bulk phenomena, and adsorption is a surface phenomena, as detailed by Hari. It was a surface phenomena, and what happens, it leaves immediately when in the case of adsorption, and it won't be happen in the case of absorption. That was the fine difference. What was observed by the component, or it might be anything, it can be leaved easily in the case of adsorption, but it won't happen in absorption. That was the difference between absorption and adsorption, and that we were discussed along with the air pollution. Yes, this is what we were stopped yesterday, and we'll continue today's session with water pollution. If feasible, we'll continue the air pollution. Yes. Before having a detailed note about the water pollution, we will crack the content which is available in the open source, that is in the Google. And before that, the government of India wants to clean the river Ganga, and I request your friend to collect the detail about the investment related to the Ganga river. Tarnika.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Tarnika, you go ahead. How much the government has a plan to spend to clean River Ganga?
Sir, the initial budget was 750 crore, but they have only spent 353.42 crores.
350.
3.42.
3.42. See, yes. Then any other matter related to that Ganga River cleaning?
So the chairman is Uma Bharati, and it was started in the year 2014 to 2015 with the next 5 years to complete the cleaning of Ganga River, and it covers 8 states, 47 towns, and 12 rivers. Then the few steps that were taken are sewage treatment infrastructure, riverfront development, afforestation, public awareness, Gangagram, etc.
Yes, is very good, Tarnika. Yes, see how much the government spending towards cleaning a river, and when it was started, Tarnika. The work started during which year?
It was passed in 2014 to 2015.
Okay. You see what happened? Around 6 years left. and yet we didn't complete the work. Isn't it? Around 50% of the total cost spent towards cleaning, and it is a very big question mark that how effectively it was utilized, and how effectively it was cleaned, and it was a very big question mark. And the reason behind a very big investment for cleaning this Ganga river, what do you think about it, and whether it is during this pandemic we can think over the huge investment that is around 750 crores investing for cleaning, and what was your opinion? Anyone?
So Ganga River project was started in 2005.
Mm. Okay. Instead of doing cleaning, what we can do? We can maintain the cleaning, isn't it?
Water treatment.
Water treatment over.
So like near Ganga, like if you see the pollutant graph, sir, it's like more concentrated industries like for the tanning, and all those industries are like linked to the Ganga river, and there is this high pollutant like cost from those industries to the river, sir. And also that there's this practice of religion thing that they deposit human bodies in the water, because of which there's a new type of bacteria formed in the water. Like I'm not sure of its name, sir, but it has a like strength to like kill any inorganic, kill organic matters instantaneously. So uh, uh, like tremendous amount of bacteria is there in the water, but still people use it for drinking and all. But still, the same water is getting polluted from industries as a major source. So one way is that if we segregate water and then use water treatment techniques, clean the water and let like the flow through Ganga river, then we can like reduce the pollution level. And then for religious practices, we can like try to form some like as per government will not like interfere in religious thing, but the people should gain some awareness about the water and its importance. Like the people over there use it as a drinking water as well as for other purposes. The same water cannot be used for like throwing bodies and all. So they need to consider that and all.
Yes, and that's all. That was the key of knowing about these water pollution. And as said by Maitreyan, each industry has their own water treatment before it was sent to the river. It has to treat it, and it has to sent out, and so that we can it can be the pollution, water pollution can be reduced in a larger way, and that was the base. And yes, you see, these contents are open source, and the water pollution types, effect, and source. And before that, someone you tell me the difference between anaerobic and aerobic. What is anaerobic and what is aerobic? Someone.
So aerobic is in the presence of air. When like if you consider with bacteria, the fermentation process takes in the presence of oxygen, then we call it as aerobic.
Very good. And
And
what is that?
without aerobic,
Without?
air.
Okay. Very good. Fine. We'll discuss the difference over these slides. With the slides, we'll discuss the difference, and the water pollution types, effect, and source. So, what is water pollution? Major types of pollutant, source, and effect. and point and non-point sources, and is the water safe to drink. And see the this is what the content presented in this particular slide, and the major categories of water pollutant or infection agents, like whether it might be a bacteria, virus, and the oxygen demanding waste, inorganic chemicals, radioactive materials, plant nutrients, organic chemicals, and eroded sediments, and heat thermal pollution. These are the major categories of water pollution, pollutant. And see the pollution in the streams. We'll discuss about ppm little later. See the clean zone of the steams usually has 8 ppm, and and the type of organisms are also detailed here. And see usually it has 8 ppm, that is dissolved oxygen content has 8 ppm. And what happens, the biological oxygen demand suddenly increases when it was the industrial effluent, industrial water waste was sent to the river water. When it was combined with the river water, what happens, it decomposed immediately, and the biological oxygen demand increasingly in a rapid way. On the other hand, the dissolved oxygen level reduces from 8 ppm to 0, and so that the decomposed zone, there won't be any living organisms. And what happens, slowly it tries to recover from 0 to from 0 ppm to 8 ppm, over a period. And so that slowly recovery happening. And later this biological oxygen demand reduces slowly, and the dissolved oxygen level increases, so that it can be cleaned, and the environment can be sustainable, and it can be for suitable for living organisms, and slowly living organisms may. And this is what the pollution in the stream. And the benefits of flood plains: the highly productive wetland provide a natural flood and erosion control, maintain high water quality, recharge groundwater. And see what happens during 1993. What happens, see the flood, how it was taken the larger land area. It is in bird eye view. In Missouri, it was a very big flood during 1993. See the amount of area occupied by the flood, occupied by the water, is enormous. And this may happen when the deforestation occurs in the hillside. What happens, the trees which reduces the soil erosion from the heavy rain and wind, and it helps to have a steady water flow in the river. What happens when it was removed, there won't be any tree, assume there won't be any tree. What happens, the rapid runoff will occur, and it causes flooding. This is what the present condition. And the reducing flood risk, and some other pollution, that is lake pollution, and see the oligotropic and eurotropic lakes. And this is what Autoscope still will have a visit over these slides: the groundwater pollutions, and the extent groundwater pollution, and the prevention and the cleaning up the pollution in the groundwater, the ozone pollution, and the coastal water pollution, and some other slides preventing uh, of the above stated pollutions. And last, sewage treatment systems, and a typical septic tank system, and primary and secondary sewage treatment, improving sewage treatment, ecological wastewater treatment. Should the Clean Water Act be strengthened, and drinking water quality, and the solution for water pollution? What can we do for reducing the water pollution? And this is what the open source, and we'll see the other open source slide also, and then we'll have a visit over the current slide which was prepared by us. The other open source slide. See in lake in Washington, and what are the causes and the effect of water pollution, and the point and non-point sources, and that is water pollution source, non-point and point source, and see the point source of polluted water in Gargas in French, and non-point sediments and unprotected farmland flow into stream. See how the lake polluted by the mining waste, and see this is what the various lakes and ponds are affected by the man-made material, the plastic waste in mountain lake, and this is what we were discussed earlier, and natural capital degradation, highly polluted river in China, and what we are simply throwing away the garbages into the rivers, and in river Peru there is an trash truck depositing garbages, and see as a result lake fish killed by water pollution, and the cultural eutrophication of Chinese lake. This is the principal source of groundwater contamination in the US. Solution, the groundwater pollution prevention and cleanup, and see the livestock, that is the personal water purification device which is provided to the human being to filter the pond water, whether it might be a pond or river or lake water, and yes, the Deepwater Horizon blowout in Gulf of Mexico in the April 2010. See the solution: septic tank system, and solution primary and secondary sewage treatment. Yes. This is what the other open source. Okay. Okay, we will discuss our content. That is water pollution, introduction, sources and impacts, and the introduction. The various environmental issues at the global and country level, that is the adverse impacts and severe stresses on the physical, chemical, and biological characteristics. Whether my slides are visible, the introduction slide is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, and it has adverse and the severe impacts over the physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of all the environmental system. These impacts and stresses are mainly contributed by the natural disaster and various man-made activities, the global warming, greenhouse effect, ozone depletion, and the climatic change, which represent the global issue in collaboration with the various man-made issues such as the pollution, generation of hazardous waste and solid municipal waste, deforestation, and soil erosion, which represent the country level issues, and have played a significant role in the manifestation of environmental degradation, thereby altering the ecological imbalance. So in order to have the ecological balance, we should try to reduce these pollutions and due to the see what happened in today. I have one particular news revealing about the influence of G7 countries. G7 countries want to invest around 100 crore dosages. They are trying to distribute to various countries, and with that 100 crore dosages, the 50 crore dosages the US government want to release. And see, in the similar scenario, the various group of countries are having different principles in order to reduce the pollutions in the different stages, whether it might be air pollution or water pollution, soil pollution, or whatever it might be. We have various standards, various autonomous bodies to have regulations to based on that regulation, the various central government, various countries government and various state government try to have their own regulations and rules in order to reduce the pollution they are trying to implement, and they were started in the past decades. And the concerning the water, it must be the major source. And even after knowing the essential impact of the water, what we are trying to do, we are wasting again and again. Mostly it is the human activity that have lead to water pollution and compromised with the quality of the water. And the pollution in the contamination of water bodies or like lakes, rivers, ocean and groundwater. And the water pollution occurs when the pollutant are discharged directly or indirectly into the water bodies without adequate treatment to remove harmful compounds. The plant and living organisms in these bodies of water affects a lot. And in almost all the cases, the effect is damaging not only the individual species and the pollutions, but also the natural biological community. And we don't think that it only affects the individual, and no, it is not. And it impact over the biological balance. And so we have to be very cautious with these pollution removal process, and we have to be very cautious with that. So see some the photographs which detailing the water pollution. See here, industrial waste, how it affects a river, and see the color of the river, how. And see here, what was the someone, you please unmute your mic. What was the place? At the top right, we have one particular picture. I think it might be very familiar with you, and it can be very nearer to you. And what name this place? Someone please unmute your mic and tell me.
Oh, which photos?
Top right. I think Ganga River, right? Gang Gangodi Seva Samiti. Top right.
So it seems that it is from Varanasi.
Varanasi.
Varanasi Ghat, Ganga Ghat.
Yes, yes. See what this is what the presence condition, and we have to be very cautious. And mm, the pollution, as I said, it was the major global problem. which requires the ongoing evaluation and revision of water source policy at all levels, even in the international level, from the country level and to the state level. It has been suggested that it is leading worldwide cause of death and disease, and that it accounts for the death even more than 14,000 people daily. And one particular estimation reveals that 700 million Indians have no access to proper even toilet, and 1,000 Indian children die due to diarrheal sickness every day. And around 90% of the China cities suffer from some degree of water pollution, and nearly 500 million people lack access to safe drink water. And this is what the statistics, various statistics related to the water pollutions. On one hand, we are investing a lot for the technological development. What we need to do, on the other hand, we need to have a conscious over the reduction of various pollution, and so that we can leave our land to the future community as it was. The acute problem of water pollution in the developing countries, in the industrial countries continue to struggle with pollution problems as well, and sources. And yes. Yes, check now whether it is audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
audible.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I think there is an interruption in the midway. Yes, yes. The source is water pollution reaches the surface and or grounds via different path. The place of pollution or source that can be easily identified and easily called the point source. Point source. In the case of point source, such as industrial and municipal discharge pipe, the pollutant enters enters via these mediums in the water source. The identification of the certain pollution source is difficult, such as the agricultural runoff, stormwater drainage, acid rain, etc. And these are all called the secondary source, or it might be a non-point source. It is difficult to recognize them because it is possible to have many agricultural runoff, like farms, animals, or croplands from where water can enter the water source. So there are two major sources. One is point source, the other one is non-point source. And the point source related to the industry, municipal discharge pipes, industry and or municipal discharge pipe. And the non-point source is related to the runoff, like farms, animals, or cropland. And see, the major pollutant and source, the organic waste, pesticides, the microorganism, heat, toxic heavy metals, chemical fertilizer, radioactive substance, and sediments. And the sources of those pollutant are the plant nutrients, or the source for the chemical fertilizer, the soil erosion due to strip mining and agriculture, or source of sediments, the domestic sewage and discharge are the source of microorganism, the sewage, domestic sewage, decay of animals and plants, animal waste and excreta, waste discharge from food processing factories, or the source of pollutant of the organic waste. So what the causes and the impacts over these water pollution, and the see, there are, it causes various human health problem which is described here. And the disease causing agents, pathogens, is one of the major water pollutant which is responsible for the contamination of water, and it causes for water pollution. And the domestic sewage and animal excreta contain different types of pathogens such as bacteria and other microorganisms, and which causes the human health problem, whether it might be Greedia lambia, Salmonella, norovirus, and other virus, other peculiar name or some health problem are described here. And see, the high level pathogens may result from inadequate treated sewage discharge. And in the developed countries, the older cities with the aging infrastructure, they have leaky sewage collection system, which can cause sanitary sewer overflows and the water pollution due to organic waste. And the very important pollutant in organic matter like leaves, trash, grass, dried leaves, etc. The runoff of the organic matter leads to the pollution of water. The excessive growth of uh, phy- phytoplankton in water can also be among the cause of water pollution. However, these waste are biodegradable, and the large bacterial pollution present in the water, which can be decomposed the organic matter. These bacteria usually consumes the oxygen present in the water. However, the amount of oxygen present in the water depends upon the holding capacity of the water. And see, here are some details about the ppm. The oxygen presence in the water concentration is dissolved of dissolved oxygen. Oxygen present in the water is the concentration of dissolved oxygen. The dissolved oxygen concentration is in the cold water is up to 10 parts per million. ppm, parts per million, we are calling as ppm. The dissolved oxygen concentration in the cold water usually 10 ppm. The amount is very small in comparison to the oxygen in the air, which is around 2 lakh ppm. The dissolved oxygen concentration in water is very important factor in terms of aquatic life, and the biological oxygen demand. In most cases, the aerobic bacteria. This is what I have inquired earlier. The difference between anaerobic and aerobic bacteria. Here, see, the incubation of the life can take a place of DO concentration is lower than 6 ppm. The photosynthesis of aquatic plant releases oxygen, and the atmospheric oxygen reaching the water is the source of oxygen in any water body. Thus, during the night, there is a decrease in the concentration of oxygen in the water because the photosynthesis is not possible. So the aquatic plants constantly consume oxygens for the respiration process. Can someone please unmute your mic? Name some plants which consumes oxygen during during night. During your school days itself, you studied the plants which consumes oxygen during night. Can unmute your mic and tell me which plants. Name some trees which consumes oxygen during. Little louder. Little louder. Little louder. Not yet. Not yet. Yes. Yes. Anyway, you go and search. The organic matter which enters the water bodies, the microorganism present in the organic matter utilize the oxygen available in water. Therefore, which this will in turn causes the oxygen dependent aquatic life to slowly diminish, that is reduce, and die due to lack of oxygen in the water. Hence, the anaerobic bacteria that is anaerobic, as detailed by your friend, the bacteria that do not require oxygen for their survival, and which the anaerobic bacteria will gradually start decomposing the organic waste and produce foul smelling chemicals harmful to human health. And when it was concerning about the aerobic bacteria, which doesn't require oxygen for the survival, utilize the DO to decompose the organic waste, thereby depleting, that is reducing the DO concentration. A particular amount of oxygen is required by the bacteria to decompose the organic matter, which in particular volume the water sample. And so this is known as BOD, or the biochemical oxygen demand. Therefore, the amount of BOD indicates the amount of organic matter which presents in the water sample. The BOD indicates the amount of oxygen which can easily break down the organic matter present in the water body. So usually the cleanup water has the 5 ppm, and the BOD value of the highly polluted can reach up to a level of 17 ppm sometimes. So the chemical pollutants and eurification, drinking water standards, and the sulfates and nitrates, and see the Indian standard specification of drinking water. You can go and Google it, the IS 10500. I will show how it look likes, and what happens in the past before 2005. We were unable to access these Indian standards. What happened during 2005? The Act, which is titled as RTI, Right to Information Act, which enables all the Indian standards visible for all the people in India, and very limited the Indian standards won't be available due to some factors, and it won't be available. Rest are available in nature. In the Google itself, you can Google it, and you can download the various Indian standard and see one particular Indian standard, that's the Indian standard 10500 drinking water specification, and the uh, various details about these Indian standard. The IS, see, drinking water, this is for drinking water specification, and this is for second revision, and yes, the characteristics, requirement, permissible limit in the absence of alternate source, and method to test. And you can Google it, and you can find the Indian standards, and based on that, the pH level would be 6.5 to 8.5, and the relaxation given till 9.2. Similarly, various parameters like color, turbidity, the hardness, calcium, amount of calcium, magnesium, copper, iron, manganese are detailed in the IS 10500, and so that you can find these details in the Google through IS 10500. You have a visit over these drinking water specification, and the drinking water has fluoride, lead, and sulfate and nitrate. See, the amount of zinc is 5 ppm, maximum concentration is 5 ppm, and iron would be 0.2. Have you studied the iron carbon diagram, metallurgy subject? Have you come across the metallurgy? Please, someone unmute your mic and tell me, have you come across the subject metallurgy?
Sir?
Metallurgy, have you studied in the past,
Yes,
or
sir.
in the metallurgy subject? During not 12th, I am asking about the UG. In
No,
UG,
sir.
have you studied?
Not yet, sir.
No,
No, sir.
not yet. Have you during your 12th standard have you come across the iron carbon diagram?
And
Yeah.
carbon.
I think you didn't.
So we have gone through this particular sheet, sir, which you have mentioned, the maximum concentration allowed.
Okay, but a very interesting thing concerning about the iron and iron carbon would be available in iron carbon diagram. That is that you will study during metallurgy, subject titled metallurgy, and when we are talking about this iron and iron carbon diagram, what we have to join with that is the material property which is not considered till the accident of Titanic ship. What happened? What was the property we didn't considered till the accident of Titanic ship? What happened? For the what happened? What was the property we were not considered for till the accident of Titanic ship? Have anyone come across or have anyone aware about it? Someone, you tell me what happened in the Titanic ship. What was the technical glitch, or what was the property we didn't come across, and what we learned through the Titanic accident? Someone.
We should not be overconfident.
Okay, fine, good. You Google it, and if feasible, we discussed during the tomorrow's class. We'll have a discussion. And what you need to do? You try to do with NDTT, NDTT, NDTT. You try to Google it and try to find those details along with the Titanic ship. Yes, and this is what the amount of Cu would be 3 ppm, and aluminum would be zero point 0.2, and cadmium would be 0.005. The permissible concentration of few metals are presented, and the drinking water standards are detailed here. And wastewater is human changed water with other physical, chemical, and biological properties as natural water. The classification of the wastewater by the origin would be from household or municipal, or precipitation from the rain, or industrial wastewater. And the industrial wastewater, the relatively polluted, that is used for heat exchanges, and the polluted from which contain the different chemicals, and the very polluted, relatively polluted, the industrial wastewater classified into three different ways. One is relatively polluted, and very polluted. And the usually the industrial wastewater quantity, the wastewater amount of, by processing of one unit, either it might be 1 kg or 1 liter of the product. See, now to clean the meat of 1 kg, we need 3 liters of water. And now to clean the fish, that is canned fish, it might be 17. You Google it and search what would be the canned fish 17, and we require 45 liters. Beer 25, and I don't know the specification on 25. You Google it and find what is 25. We need 15 liters. Not to have the sugar 1 kg, not to get sugar for 1 kg, we need to spend around 100 liters of water. So the water is a major source for industry, and the treatment facilities has to be increased a lot for the usage of the subsequent generations. And that's all about the water pollution. And do you have any discussions with these water pollution? Do you want to discuss anything more about the water pollution?
Like in recent days, like 4 or 5 days back, even in my city and in Varanasi, the color of Ganga River turns green.
During this pandemic, is it?
Yes, sir. Like 4-5 days ago.
Oh. Okay. During the last year, what happens due to the stringent lockdown? The pollution reduced drastically in many places, even in Delhi and other cities, which affected a lot by the air pollutions. The pollution become negligible during those hard days. That is a good thing happened in the lockdown. I think tomorrow is the Tuesday timetable. Am I right, Ankit?
Thursday, sir. Thursday.
Thursday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Then okay, tomorrow we'll meet during 9:30. We'll meet.
Sir, sir,
Yes,
today
Ankit.
we have Karthikeyan's birthday, sir.
Karthik, you are what you are doing? You are in the midday. You are telling, or at the end you are telling. When there is a birthday, you tell me at the beginning itself, Ankit. Okay, go ahead, Karthi.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yes, very good morning, Karthi.
Yeah.
Wishes and blessed. Stay long.
Nandri, sir. Nandri.
Blessed day. And you
Thank you
are
so
from?
much.
You are from? You are from?
Madurai, sir. Tamil Nadu.
மதுரை. வெரி குட் மதுரை. இப்போ எந்த ஊர்ல இருக்கீங்க?
இப்போ ஐயர்பங்களா சார், விஷால்டி மால் சைடு. லேண்ட்மார்க் விஷால்டி மால் சைடு.
பேர் சொல்லுங்க, எந்த இடம்னு சொல்றீங்க?
ஐயர் பங்களோ சார். ஐயர் பங்களோ. ஐயர் பங்களோ சார், மதுரையில்.
ஐயர் பங்களா.
ஆமாம் சார்.
ஓகே, குட்.
யா, தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். மீன்ஸ் அ லாட்.
Yes. Okay. Read well. That was wishes. Read well. Someone, please.
Happy birthday,
your
Doctor.
friends.
Happy birthday, Karthikeyan.
Happy birthday, Karthikeyan.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Karthikeyan.
Happy birthday, Karthi.
Thank you, Prabha.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you, Pranav. Thank you so much, all. Means a lot.
Yes, do well.
Happy birthday, Karthikeyan.
Read well.
Yeah.
Yes, do well.
Yeah, thank you, sir. At least you are sparing time in this class. So thank you so much, sir. Means a lot.
No issues. Okay. We'll meet tomorrow 9:30. We'll meet.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.